The past couple of weeks now, because there are two parts to it. One is of those people who are stranded here in Nagaland, who want to go to their own respective states. We have no issues with that, and then provided the arrangements are made and provided the receiving states are ready to receive them, uh, we are in a position to send those stranded people from other states. So far as our state is concerned, we really do not have the numbers as yet on how many people would actually like to return. We have information of about 21,000 people who are living in other parts of the country. Some students, mostly workers in the different fields. And through the dashboard, we have been we have information on about 16,000 of them. And you see, we don't want to have total chaos when they come. It's not that we don't want them to come. Obviously, they want to come back home and they want to be back home with their families. But we want to make it as seamless as possible. And then the MHA on subsequent days have issued separate guidelines, one for migrant laborers and another not only migrant laborers but tourists, students and so on and so forth. Other neighboring states have already got into the act of making arrangements, taking their stranded people back to the states. But so far as Nagaland is concerned, like I said, we want to make it as seamless as possible, as least inconvenient as possible. So we have this empowered committee already in place. They have been functioning, they have been doing all their homework. And then the latest guidelines have come on quarantine of such people, and we are minutely examining those guidelines. And once that is ready, then we will be asking for people who want to come back home. As far as I can see now, coming from neighboring states does not pose much of a problem in terms of logistics. But then there are people as far away as Bangalore, Bombay and Delhi and other such parts to work out and together with the government of India. Migrant labor from other states are concerned, except maybe for a couple of hundred or maybe a couple of thousands who are there in the foothills, who come across and go back. The ones, the laborers or the daily wage earners who are here in Nagaland are more or less on a semi-permanent basis, barbers and masons and carpenters and so on and so forth. And our people are in touch with them and they are not in a hurry to go back to their places. Students in the various colleges, hostels who are stranded, and they are being taken good care of. At least that's the report I've got. And they have not made any demands of wanting to go back home. But then their states have contacted us, Mizoram for instance. There are some students in Sasard and a few other colleges in Dimapur, and they want to take back their students. So we've said, most welcome. So far as the lockdown is concerned, there's no denying the fact, and we are grateful to the Honorable Prime Minister and Government of India for having the lockdown in the first place. The figures, the positive figures from the statistics that we were shown could have been very, very frightening indeed. But then the fact that in India so far, despite the spikes here and there, it has been more or less controlled. So the lockdown has really helped us, and then the further extension from 15th onwards till 3rd April, that has also helped us. Now henceforth we're expecting fresh guidelines from the Government of India. but I suspect that it'll be mostly to do with the red, orange and green zones. And also a large part of it will depend on the states who will be taking their own independent decisions. So far as we in Nagaland are concerned, all I can say is that we have to take very calculated and calibrated steps so far as relaxation is concerned. I cannot say at this point of time that it will be extended or not extended. But then the virus is here to stay with us. We have to be cautious. At the same time not panicking and taking extreme measures. So we are in the process of working out some more relaxations, which probably by third or fourth, we are not going by the third deadline. It's not that up to third we are like this, then from fourth magic will happen and all kinds of things. It's not that. So maybe around the fourth or fifth, we will issue our own guidelines and whatever relaxation that needs to be made. Government of India says, and also the neighboring states. So we can't have one set of things which will not make it possible to apply to, in other states. So we're looking at all that, and this is not a time to hurry up with things, and but to be careful, take calculated measures. Giving our affidavit to the court as directed by the Honorable Court. I've had discussions with our advocates and with the department concerned. So we will be taking we will be bringing to the notice of the Honorable Court the steps that we are taking, and also bring out some factuals, some facts which the Honorable Court may not be aware of, because this order was an interim order based on the petition only. To be in quarantine, but what kind of quarantine? Whether, supposing someone is from Mon and he lands up in Dimapur, now what do we do with such people? So this is work in progress.
Because,
saying that, from 1st of April, we move on to BS6 emission norms. And so vehicle manufacturers, as early as November last year, that stopped manufacturing. And then I was told, I'm not sure about this, but I was told that BS6 vehicles, apart from being, that compliant with those norms, they will need a different type of fuel and things like that. So based on all that, and then probably the country, there was no clarity on the availability of BS6 compliant fuel. So that is the reason why all the manufacturers had slowed down and finally stopped the manufacture of vehicles. And this issue of ambulances was also raised by us when the COVID first started happening, because we found that we were short of ambulances. And then, as you are aware, Meghalaya, they were probably the first in the region who got about 25 ambulances. We found that there was a company in UP, EMRI. They had, actually taken advantage of the situation and procured all the vehicles in advance, and they were keeping. And they had about 10 ambulances, which was meant for Delhi. But luckily we had one of our own Naga officers in UP with whom we got in touch. And we were able to divert them. And they were already pre-registered because of these BS4, 6 norms. And many people may say many things, but then we are clear in our mind. I've seen the ambulances myself. They are brand new. In fact, so we do face a lot of criticism from different angles. But as long as we are clear in our mind and in our conscience, we go on regardless.